Revolutionary salutations, fellow members of the academia. Revolutionary acknowledgement to the suffering people of Zimbabwe. Today we are here on our on-campus conversation. Hashtag redefining the narrative. Hashtag shaping politics. We are here at the University of Zimbabwe, comrades. I'm joined by the one of the decorated leaders at this institution, Comrade Bunashe Masiyiwa, who is the main Secretary General of the SRC. So, Comrade SG, you can equally greet the students at the University of Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much, my brother. Revolutionary salutations, my fellow compatriots. Revolutionary salutations, the students at the University of Zimbabwe. Revolutionary salutations, the entire cosmos. My brother, we are here today as public intellectuals, as students, as youths, with the role of conscientizing the society. Because, my brother, we came here comprehending that we must not be the masters of political comment, but the masters of political definition, being able to define politics, being able to define policies. Because, my brother, we have a role of giving ideas to our people. Because Lenin says there is no political life without ideas, but ideas which do not relate to the concrete realities of our people are empty. So we should make sure that also we balance realism and idealism, being able to uncover the dark corners and angles of our revolution. Because as intellectuals, we have that laser vision of seeing beyond the miniskirt, of seeing beyond what the general masses see.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. Even Che Guevara robustly backed that, Comrade SG, that the greatest effect, the primary goal of a revolutionary is to be educated. So we are here, Comrade SG, to make sure that we unpack the Nelson Chamisa's revolution so that people understand what really is democracy. People understand what really is the revolution of the Wamba Diawamba generation. So, Comrade SG, before we go there, I would like to first acknowledge the works of our liberators. You know, Comrade, we are faced by the national annual commemoration day, the 18th of April, Comrade, Independence Day, where we celebrate the works or the fight or the contributions of our liberators, Comrade Robert Mugabe's, the Dumiso Dabengwas of those generation, the Nelson, the Joshua Nkomo of that generation, Comrade SG. We must acknowledge them. May their soul continue to rest in power. Of course, acknowledging that we still have an fulfilled goal of the liberation struggle. Comrade SG, it was a fight against exclusion. It was a fight against the issue of land. It was the fight, Comrade, for universal suffrage, one man, one vote. But today, we are here to unpack the importance of that revolution for it to be fulfilled. We saw the coming in of Comrade Morgan Richard Trangirai trying to fulfill that revolution, trying to fulfill the goals of the liberation struggle. We are seeing the Wamba Diawamba generation today, Comrade SG, which is the generation we believe is going to usher in change and transformation in Zimbabwe. But we can only achieve that when the masses of Zimbabwe understand what is it that Nelson Chamisa is bringing to them. He's saying citizens at the center. Comrade SG, unpack so that our fellow citizens can also understand.
So, my brother, thank you very much. In your analysis, you have stratified the revolution into three compartments, yes. Whereby you talked of the nationalist revolution, yes, of Robert Mugabe. You talked of the democratization revolution of Edgar Tegere, Dumbuchena, and Morgan Tsvangirai. Yes, yes. You also talked of the current revolution of the Wamba Diawambas, yes, our generation, yes, which has the philosophy of having the citizens at the center. So our analysis starts with the nationalist revolution. That revolution was anchored on the idea that no, the white minority should not oppress the black majority. Because at the center of this struggle, there were the issue of the land, number one. Number two, we have the issue of the freedom to speak and the freedom to assemble. Number three, we had the issue of the economy, so that the black people won't be discriminated. The black people won't be jeopardized from enjoying what's in their motherland. So we saw the coming in of Robert Mugabe, Joshua Nkomo. We saw the coming in of Lookout Masuku. We also saw the coming in of Joshua Nkomo. So that revolution was achieved because we had to take power from the Smith regime. But the motives, the ethos, and the values of that revolution are not being fulfilled. Then we saw the revolution of the democratization of our nation. We saw the coming of the Zimbabwe Forum Party, Dumbuchena. We saw the coming of Zoom, Zimbabwe Unity Movement, Edgar Teke. But we saw the coming in of a great movement which was centered on the labor, the movement of Morgan Tsvangirai, the MDC. So the coming of MDC, it was born out of the abrogation of the values of the first revolution, because the first revolution, the faces of the revolution were now making mistakes, and the 4 mistakes that I attribute to the born of the second revolution: number 1, the obvious payout; number 2, the land reform program; number 3, we saw the DRC war; number 4, we saw the adoption of the neoliberal policies of ISAP.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. So we are saying that revolution which was led by Comrade Morgan Tsvangirai, it was a revolution which had students at the center, a revolution which had workers at the center. So, comrades, as we unpack what's the difference between the revolution which was led by Morgan Tsvangirai and the Wamba Diawamba generation, which we are leading today, because we are also part of that generation.
Yes.
Because it's saying citizens at the center. I am a citizen. You are a citizen. They are citizens. So, can we just unpack the difference which is there between the revolution of Morgan Tsvangirai in that one of Wamba Diawamba generation?
So, my brother, the difference now, when Morgan Tsvangirai died in 2018, it was a signal of change of generation. When he died, there was a divorce between that generation of the labor movement to the now generation of the best revolution, or the revolution of the common man. Chamisa would not have the continuation of Morgan Tsvangirai. Why? Because of elite capture. Why? Because of different ideologies and philosophies. Because of different also of what generation. So he said no, that one was centered on the labor movement, but now we should have a revolution from the base, a revolution of the common man, because in Zimbabwe right now everyone is common. Most of the people are living far below the poverty datum line. So now we should come with a philosophy that can organize and galvanize everyone in Zimbabwe, and that everyone is the downtrodden, that everyone is the suffering Zimbabwe. So we came in now with a new philosophy of citizens at the center, so that the candidates can be chosen by the citizens, so that the policies are determined by the citizens. That's why now Nelson Chamisa, our leader, came and said, no, we don't want Zvezvigar, todas Zvehugar. Why? Because he understands that once we give you a position, it's now an elite class, and you cannot relate with the common man. So we are saying we should all be common. When we are common, we can have a common vision, common goal, and a common revolution, a revolution from the best, a revolution of the common man.
Thank you very much, Comrade SG. You have heard, he made it clear, Comrade, that the generation of Wamba Diawamba does not have workers in it, does not have students in it. Everyone is common, because we don't have jobs in Zimbabwe. So we can't say it's a labor movement. It's no longer a labor movement, because we don't have works, we don't have jobs in Zimbabwe. 95% of the population of Zimbabwe is unemployed. It's a revolution which is backed by those people who are informally employed in the ghetto, those who are selling sweets in the ghetto, those who are selling fruits in the streets of Harare. So, Comrade SG, I'm sure you made it clear. So, as you know, for the sake of time, Comrade SG, I'm sure we have time to record another tete-a-tete, another conversation on the issue of education, on the issue of health. But I'm sure we must end it here, Comrade SG. But before we conclude, I would like you to comment, Comrade SG. I'm sure you've seen the final episode of the Al Jazeera documentary where the gold mafia, those pleasure mongers who are sucking our national endowments dry, being exposed. You've seen the first lady, Comrade SG. Just your comment on that and your advice to the fellow compatriots who are watching our video.
Okay, you talked of the first lady. You saw in that documentary, first lady saying, ask Baba, who is Baba? The father of corruption. Who is Baba? The father of the gold mafia. Who is Baba? The father of the dilapidation to this. He's the author and the architecture of everything that is happening right now. That ambassador at large is being begged by that ED who stays in #1 Chancellor Avenue. So what gold mafia has done now, the gold mafia has become the biggest predicament in our country, whereby there is now a continuation of the breaking down of the social contract. Because for us to live in harmony, for the country to move forward, the governed and the governors must have a relationship. That relationship has been broken down. So we now don't have what we call the social contract. So that social contract will lead to the people now knowing what to do. What is that we need to do? We need to vote these gold mafias out. We need to vote the Amai and the Baba of looting out.
And that makes the conclusion of our on-campus conversation. Let's vote the gold mafia out, fellow students. Let's register to vote and make sure that we vote on the voting day. Let's also go and celebrate the Independence Day. We have been given that the right to vote, one man, one vote, by our forefathers who went to the liberation struggle, sacrificed their lives for our right to vote. So we can't afford to waste that vote. Let's all go and register to vote and actually vote on the voting day and vote for Comrade Wamba Diawamba, Nelson Chamisa. He's our leader, our generational leader, the visionary, the eagle. Thank you very much.
Signing out.